Hey, it's Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. KFYO. In Lubbock, Texas, you can listen, if you're not in Lubbock or in West Texas, you can listen online at KFYO.com. CBO score released for the Republican replacement plan for Obamacare. It was the much anticipated, at least among politicos, the much anticipated nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office reports found that it would reduce the deficit by $119 billion over a decade. The bill also found that premiums would go down, but this is what Democrats and weak-kneed Republicans are focusing on. 23 million people would lose health care, according to the CBO report. Couple of things here. Number one, 23 million people will not lose health care with the Republican plan. There's no way. First of all, this is a battle of language, right? We're talking about health insurance. We're not talking about health care. You break your arm, you don't have insurance, you go in, guess what? Doctors are still going to treat you. They're not going to just shove you out of the hospital and say, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to, set your arm or anything. That's not going to happen. 23 million people won't lose health coverage. Now, will 23 million people lose health insurance? No. You are mandated right now to buy insurance. The question is, how many of those 23 million people would choose not to have health insurance if they were not mandated to have it? I would offer it would be a large number of that 23 million. A large percentage of that group would say, hey, if I don't have to have it, I'm healthy, I don't need to spend the money, I'm going to say no thank you to health insurance. A lot of people would do that. A lot of people right now are forced to buy insurance that they cannot afford. And by the way, it's bad insurance. Yes, they're still getting covered at the hospitals, but guess what? They can't afford the premiums. We've got a problem here that Republicans must address and that Democrats must address as well. Now, the problem here for the White House is they don't have a lot of political capital. The Senate, they're not going to move too fast, in my opinion, on health care. The House, well, they've done what they're going to do, but the Senate's already said, we're going to completely trash what you guys did. We're going to make up our own version of a health care plan, and then the House and the Senate have to get together and iron out their differences. We've got a long ways to go before we really see what health insurance under the Republicans would look like, or I guess as the Democrats would say, what health coverage would look like under a Republican plan. A long ways to go, and there are a ton of landmines before we actually get to the finished product. And I still don't believe there's any guarantee that we're going to see Obamacare repealed and replaced anytime soon. Again, there's just too many factions going against each other right now. Plus, you have the president who wants to get tax reform done. You have the president who wants to get his budget through. And you have a president who is being investigated because of alleged ties to Russia during the campaign, which I think we all know is a bunch of bunk. So we'll see what happens. A long ways to go. Do I think Republicans will eventually do something? Boy, I wish I could be positive about it. I just don't see Republicans actually sitting down and coming up with a plan. I hope I'm wrong, but I think they've got to get something done before 2018. And, time's slipping away here. Remember, a lot of these congressmen don't work during the summer. They take a lot of breaks. You're not going to get a lot of stuff through. The Senate's going to take their sweet little time when addressing health care. Time is slipping away, though it is only May. Time is slipping away for Congress to do something, because once 2018 hits, it's election year, and you're not going to see anything get done in the election year. Not at all. And Republicans, I truly believe you've got to get this through. You've got to do this. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of primarying going on in Congress. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show, weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. KFYO. Have a great day. We'll talk later on the show.